If your belly fat won't budge and everything else is toning up, you are doing absolutely nothing wrong. I actually had someone comment this on one of my videos, and honestly, it's so common, especially in our 40s. You know, you're working out, you're eating clean, and honest, like, and still you're holding on to fat, like right here, right? That's normal. Um, Especially as we're getting into our 40s as women. It doesn't mean that you need to try harder by any means. Trust me, that can actually backfire. It usually means that your body needs something different. So most of us think that it's okay to do more workouts, eat less food, cut carbs, push harder. Mm-mm. That's actually the one that I see the most is that women cutting carbs as we're getting older. We need those carbs. Even men need those carbs. Um, when you cut them too low, your body gets really stressed, and then that's when it starts holding on to fat. You don't want that, especially in your belly. So, and eating clean doesn't always mean that you're eating enough. You could be under eating and not even realize, because if you're eating clean, a lot of times you're actually eating less calories than your body really needs. So you want to make sure, like, depending on what the food you're eating, right? I mean, obviously, nuts have a lot of fat. Avocados have a lot of fat, so those get a lot higher on the calorie scale, basically, versus proteins and carbs. So you can natural carbs like fruits and vegetables, they're almost basically unlimited. Like, you can eat tons of those. And protein, I mean, you should be eating enough that it sustains the weight that you want. And it will sustain your muscle. So that's a big part of it, right? So let's talk about for a second. Sleep is one very more important things. If you don't sleep well, what happens? You end up by getting up the next day, you're exhausted, and then of course, well, when we're tired, we crave bad carbs, bad food, junk, sugar, all that crap. And so it all kind of, like, it's a whole picture, right? Like, you really got to pay attention. So sleep is very important. And the best way to get sleep, and I know it's hard, especially for shift workers, but if you're regular day worker or evening worker or whatever, even a night worker, if you're going to bed consistently at the same time and getting up, it really helps. And especially during the daylight hours, if you go to bed before 10 or at least by 10 and then get up, 6, 7 in the morning, depending. I mean, even earlier if you can. I like to get up earlier, but that's me. I'm usually up by 5. But that's also part of because of my trip. I'm trying to get used to that time zone. But I normally get up at 6 just because I like my time in the morning to sit and unwind, get ready for work, take my time, have a good breakfast, all that kind of stuff. But that's the biggest thing too, is a lot of people will actually sit and they will do the long fasts. Now that may be okay for men, but for women, especially when our hormones are like this all the time, we need to make sure that we eat more consistently. I like to try to eat every 3 to 4 hours, and I know that sounds like a lot, but have a protein at every meal. If you can have like a fruit or a vegetable, preferably a vegetable, but fruit will do too, especially if you're like having berries or an apple or something like on the lower scale of the carbs. That will really help because it'll give you the energy that you need. And a lot of women at our age tend to have that afternoon crash. Well, why? Because you're cutting out the carbs, and especially if you're doing like a ketogenic or the Atkins or any of those diets, you're not getting enough carbs to actually give you the energy that you need. And we need food. Like, I know myself with, working my job as a letter carrier, I walk a lot of steps every day. And I've tried, and it was okay when I was younger to not eat the crazy carbs, but you need that energy, and you're not going to have that energy. And if you're tired, like I said, that sidesteps you into bad eating. So that's a big thing. The other thing is, taking a walk, even if it's just a 15-minute walk after a meal, it'll help your insulin kind of stay steady. It'll help burn off your food. And that's the biggest thing too, is our insulin sensitivity, which is basically our sensitivity to carbs as we get older, because of our hormones, actually kind of goes all out of whack. Therefore, that's why I like to add cinnamon to a lot of things, because cinnamon is good at helping that. But movement, our bodies aren't made to just sit around. And I'm not talking like hard, crazy workouts, Sometimes those hard, crazy workouts will actually push you behind, because then you get hurt, or you're just aching in general because your body's not used to that kind of movement yet. So you don't want to do that, because that will set you back, because it make you not want to do it. But even doing something as simple as a walk, body weight exercises, cleaning your house, dancing, just doing something, right? Movement will help, and it'll help to, clean out, like basically even out your insulin. The other thing is drinking alcohol. Now, I get it. Everybody likes to have a drink or two. I personally, I only have them on vacation, and I try to not overdo it. Just because when you're drinking alcohol, your body will be so busy metabolizing the alcohol that it doesn't metabolize the food that you're eating. And come on, be serious. Most people, when you drink alcohol, you don't make exactly the best food choices, right? So, all that stuff kind of adds up. And stress. Stress is huge, 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 right? Try and figure out ways to de-stress if you can. And I know it's hard. Life is full of stressors. But, even sitting quiet for 15, 20 minutes, just deep breathing, some kind of meditation if you can. Just figure out a way, crank up the music and dance. I mean, there's always so many ways. Cuddle with your dogs. I love cuddling with my dogs. There's always ways of de-stressing. But that's the thing, right? Is we try to do too much too fast sometimes, and then we undo all the work. And that's the thing. Like, I was actually talking with a coworker today about it, and he was like, "Oh, I was in the best shape of my life when I was doing keto," but he's like, "It's not sustainable." That's the problem with these diets. They all work, but can you live with them long term, right? Where when I was in the best shape of my life, it's always been just eating whole natural foods. And, when I go out for a meal, I can still eat like crap if I want to, but I just get right back on it. It doesn't mean that every time I have a bad meal, I eat bad. So that's the biggest thing, right? Is balance in your life. Balance will make such a difference in every avenue of your life. You know, try to get the whole picture. Drink enough water, get enough sleep, eat fruits and vegetables, and a protein at each meal. Have some fast digesting carbs like sweet potato, regular potato, rice, the couscous. I'm not a fan, but if you like that stuff, go for it. But do it around your workouts and try to get at least 3 to 4 body weight weight workouts, with weights. And if you can't do it with weights because you're just a beginner, just start body weight exercises. Do some planks, do some squats. Like, there's so many different exercises that you can do. I've got a few posted that will help you build natural muscle slowly, but get there, right? And it's better to start small than to try pushing yourself and hurting yourself to something you won't stick to, right? So that's basically what it comes down to is, like I said, sleep right, drink lots of water, eat a proper food every day, every 3 to 4 hours, even every 5 hours, but always a protein first. Fruits and vegetables with it, a salad, whatever. About 2 cups roughly should probably do it. And then if you want, like I said, the side carb, go for it. But you will honestly feel so much better. And the other thing is don't drink your calories. Sugar, like pop, whatever, juice, any of that stuff is crap. I mean, if you want, you can always add, lemon or whatever. There's so many natural things that you can add to your water to make it taste good if you're not a water drinker. I personally love water. I've been like that since I was a little kid. But, you could drink lots of teas, especially if they are herbal teas and stuff like that. They're so good for you. But just figure it out, and you know what? Your health will thank you. And like I said, movement is huge. But yeah, when it comes all to, your health and weight loss and staying in the, good shape, especially with your hormones, because I notice too, when I do go on vacation or whatever, and I do have even 1 or 2 drinks, I find that that's when my hormones kind of go out of whack. I get the hot flashes and the crankiness and everything the next day. I don't sleep well. So it all kind of, goes together. So if you want the best health and best shape of your life, honestly, take better care of yourself, because that's what it comes down to, is just taking care of you. And you know what? You're worth it. You deserve to be taken care of. You've taken care of everybody else your whole life. Now it's time for you to take care of you.